Hello, and welcome back, everybody. It's been a while, hasn't it? How are you all doing? Welcome. We're back. We've had a busy week or so. I guess is it almost 2 weeks since we last were here? Anime. Hello, welcome on in. Also, Gom. Yo, how's it going? Welcome. It's so nice to be back and chatting. And being able to craft in a way that is not incredibly stressed. It's very nice. How are we all doing? What have we all been up to in the last week or so? Yes. Oh boy, have we had a busy. We've been busy bees. Because we went to Warhammer Fest. It was very, very exciting. I will be probably chatting quite a lot about that today. Because it was there's a lot of stuff that kind of happened in the lead up to it and then during, and we've just had a very actually relatively chill time afterwards, with the exception of PhD things. So it's kind of all been happening this last week or so. So how are we doing? Are we good? Are we having good weekends? Are we doing crafty things? What are we all up to? Well, I just get myself the last little bit of setup for today. I'm just going to see if I can find. I seem to have misplaced something, which is making it. Which may. I don't think it's going to put a stopper on our plans, but it does. It makes it a little bit complicated. But I think it should be fine. Is this what I'm looking for? Nope, those are batteries. But yeah, so what have we been up to since we last had a stream? Purple Tea, welcome on in. I hope you're doing well. Unfortunately we didn't manage a Friday stream last week. Things ended up just being so unbelievably hectic in the last 24 hours or so in the lead up to Warhammer Fest that there was just no way that a stream was going to happen. So massive apologies for that. But we are back now. We should be back to a semi-regular schedule now. There's like a couple of bits here and there. But otherwise, it's been great. But my vacation is almost over. Oh no. You get to enjoy the last few days. Hopefully not last few hours. I feel like ending your vacation in the middle of the weekend, that would really suck. I'm assuming, well, actually, I was going to say, you'll be back on Monday? Because over here we have a bank holiday on Monday. Because I think is it today? Is today the coronation? I don't even know. So did anyone inquire about your scroll content? One person did. It's the third place Warhammer Fest contestant? It is. Come on in, Sonny. Who could it be? Could it be me? It might be me. Come on in, Sonny. I feel... Thank you, Bubble Tea. Thank you. Also, Avek, welcome on in. How is it going? We're just saying, we're going to do a little bit of Warhammer recap, because, it was a whole time. Third place, it was me. So we did Warhammer Fest, we did the contest, just about. Fun facts, certain parts of this cosplay were finished about, I was going to say 3 a.m. the night before, but actually no, we were still gluing things in the morning. It was intense. It was not a good time. Thank you, Avik. Thank you. All of the hype. Yes, go. Hype. But yes, we were making things at 3 a.m. in the morning. I say we. Zeta was passed out. I was making things because a number of things just all kind of conspired against us at the last minute. In that I didn't have fabric that I needed for my cloak lining. So we ended up taking a last-second trip up to our nearest fabric store. And then in the car, I was like hand-sewing stuff while we were journeying. And then when I got back, my sewing machine stopped working. It worked for a tiny bit, and then it just stopped working. And it was like, we don't have time to fix this. We're just going to have to go. So I ended up borrowing we were staying with some friends, mercifully, who are also really big into cosplay and crafting. So they let me use their sewing machine. We got there about midnight, and then I was just sewing away this cloak. So it was so silly. I had done lots of driving. Zeta had done lots and lots of driving. For sleeping and not helping, no. Zeta had a very well-earned rest, especially with like driving us up to our nearest fabric shop and back again, and then all the way up to Manchester as well, which is where the Warhammer Fest was. So yeah, Zeta had a very well-earned break while I was crafting. Oh dear. Impressively sleeping through as well, because the sewing machine was in the same room that we were sleeping in. So it was very a lot. Sleep is necessary. Koi should have been sleeping too. It's factually correct. I probably should have been sleeping too. But I just really, I didn't want to get as far as I did with this cosplay and then not have it like complete. And there's still, to be fair, there's still things that I want to add and fix and whatnot to this cosplay, which is partly what we're going to be doing today. Once I finish nattering and drinking, what are we on today? We're on mochas today. We've got a mocha. So yeah, we will actually be doing some of those fixes, but yeah. So some of the bits I think that folks haven't seen previously. We finished the headpiece, so it's got a lovely bit of bling on it now. You may also notice that it has a little glowing spot. This battery has underneath this bit of foam has been going for a whole week, and I wouldn't say it's going strong so much anymore, but it's still going. It's still going. Like, it's showing up really well on camera. But yeah, the headpiece came together. I think there's some small adjustments that I want to make to this in terms of the fit, because once we've got the battery in here, it really presses into my head. Pretty, thank you, Ava. Yeah, it turned out really well. There's like a slight fit issue. Ooh, which way do we need to go? If we go over to this one. Ooh, yeah, there's a little bit of a fit issue with it once the wig goes on. There we go. There we go. So yeah, that's kind of its most comfortable. But once the wig is on and everything's kind of shuffled around a little bit more, it has an incredible tendency to just kind of lean. So we need to figure out a way of securing it more securely, basically. But yeah, I was really, really pleased with how the headpiece turned out. I was really pleased with how everything turned out, to be honest, considering how rushed some of it was. So you can see just about in the background, a big stick in the way. The chest armor that we made for this cosplay as well in about 3 or 4 days. It wasn't good. 0 out of 10. Would not recommend trying to make armor in like 3 days. It was one of those occasions where I really should have just been like, you know what, we're not going to finish it and it's fine. But it kind of worked out okay, because third place ain't bad. That's amazing. Oh, thank you so much, Anime. Yes, I can also actually, for anybody that hasn't seen the finished cosplay, because we've not really posted many pictures of it, somewhere I have. I finally put together a little compilation clip of all my little cosplay things. So somewhere in this, before how fast you made it, yeah, it's a little bit ridiculous. But we will get to. I just thought it would be nice to have a little video for people coming into the channel for the first time to be like, this is the kind of cosplay that we make. So I kind of took little clips from all of the things that we've kind of done on stream, or have videos of, to be fair. And the next one after this, I believe, should be the Warhammer one that we've just finished. But this was from TwitchCon last year. So yeah, I just got a little compilation video to go, these are the kind of cosplays that we make. This is the kind of stuff that we work on. The TwitchCon one definitely is the longest video. For sure. Vaporeon lives again. Yeah, I had to go back through the TwitchCon Amsterdam feeds. Flirting with the cameraman, heck yeah. Absolutely. There we go. This is the finished cosplay that we work on that we're currently going to be fixing up bits and pieces of. So yeah, they did cut down the video because this was taken from the compilation. But yeah, and I got that place with the thing. And the judges were very, very lovely. The judges were excellent. And yeah, so that was the finished thing. Those are all your scrolls, your Purity Seal messages there on the belt. Amazonian, hello, welcome on in. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's very, very much appreciated. But yeah, we're just chatting a little bit about a compilation video. How's it going, Amazonia? If you really want to talk to people about like competing in cosplay, Amazonian is your person. Because yeah, world cosplay champion of 2022. Because I guess they've just crowned somebody else now, right? That was that was the finals. Like was it C2E2 I think for the this year's crown champs. But yes, if you want to know about competing, Amazonian is a pro, absolute pro. So yeah, but let's get rid of that while we're still chatting. My reign didn't even last 6 months because of event shifting. I was going to say that seems really short. Like I guess is this because the shifting because of COVID and things like that? But I shall forever be 2022 champ. Absolutely yes, champion of 2022 for sure. And yeah, also speaking briefly of TwitchCon, so yeah, I think it's very much like definitely not happening this year, but there's like maybe future years. I've seen whispers. Forever be the champion of our hearts, yeah, absolutely, yeah, like that Sansa cosplay, chef's kiss, so good. Right. Speaking of cosplays and things, we should probably actually do some of the upgrades. So things that I would like to change on this cosplay, or maybe add to this cosplay. We have some shoulder armor, which as you can see is currently only held on in one place. I would like to add redundancy. They confirmed it won't be happening this year. They're unsure if it will happen for America, but they want to do it next year, but haven't confirmed yet. Yeah, I think that was what I had seen. It would be great if they could just communicate. It really would, because like I don't think because if they're gonna keep the rules about only spending 1 year, it's like, well, when is that year opening? Like, what? Yeah. Imagine if we knew. Imagine. I hope for future TwitchCons. Yeah, hopefully. Also, if they don't let people enter who've been crafting for this year, that would be a massive dick move. That would be a really big dick move. Because it's like everyone's been working so hard with the assumption that it was happening. So yeah, if they don't allow people, I reckon like a 2 year window is still pretty short in the scheme of things. Like for some of the like the level of kind of cosplay competition, like 2 years is still kind of like I know because I think Sansa I think was like at least 3 years, right? So like for really high level competitions, like a couple of years, like that's that's far from unheard of, you know. Oh, also other upgrades which we won't be able to do on stream, but I thought it'd be quite fun to see the finished book because I don't think we got to see it on stream previously. But yeah, there is the finished book with its technically functional pages just about. Yeah, I was very pleased with how this turned out. And yeah, but it has. You may notice that it is missing some of its clasps and its locks. There were some injuries, so yeah. I'll probably have to put Maleficent off till 2025 because I don't dare start making her till we have confirmation that it's happening. I guess in the meantime, we can kind of like plan ahead, and I guess does gathering materials count as part of making the cosplay? Because I guess if you're gathering materials, I find that for me sometimes can end up being a really long process. So having a little bit of a head start, but not having it count completely, maybe that would be a big help. Because once you've planned everything out, you just be like, right, I'm just gonna do it, make it happen. Still need to finish Rhaenyra. Very fair. Yeah, to be fair, there's always plenty of cosplay plans to be had in the meantime. Gathering bits, yeah. Especially if you're ordering like things in bulk from faraway places, like yeah, it takes a while to even acquire the materials, and especially if something arrives and you're like, oh, not sure about that, and things like that. So yeah, definitely makes a difference. It's a shame ECG doesn't allow OCs because I would totally enter Maleficent there. Yeah, it would like completely be on the right skill level. But I want that Twitch money. The Twitch money is pretty good. It's pretty good. I don't know how it compares to competitions in the States, because I've heard that some of the States, like or over in the US, they have some like really big prize money. But for Europe, Twitch money is like, it's pretty good. I don't think I've heard of any even close. It's bigger than most of the contest money in the States as well. Ah, okay. Yeah, I was like, how much can one possibly win? But yeah. But I guess in a weird way, at least from where I'm sitting, I'm like, okay, I have more time to kind of think about, plan something. Maybe, I mean, I would like to start on Gwendolyn. Um, but yeah, I guess maybe I can practice techniques for Gwendolyn. Um, because yeah, I've now used the corset in this cosplay, so I'd be looking at maybe remaking it if I wanted that to be kind of part of the Gwendolyn build. But yeah, we'll see. Really hope next year is going to be even more amazing than what we've had before. Yeah, fingers crossed. Like that would, I think it'd be really nice if maybe they're just taking some time to look at how things are set up, and then maybe be like, okay, this works, this doesn't work, we're gonna fix it up, like tweak this, change that, and like hopefully it'd be even better. I mean, I'd say the experience that, like, I think everybody that was in it last year, like, had a really good time. Um, but I guess we'll see. They've an entirely new team working on cosplay, so it seems they want to improve. That would be good. Like, I think because I didn't really have a frame of reference last year, having never really competed before last year's TwitchCon, I kind of didn't really have like much of a frame of reference, so I thought, this is brilliant. They've given us like a nice backstage space, they've fed us, they've watered us, they've paid for our travel. Like, what more could I ask for? Before finals would be great, would be very helpful, yes. I think that is one thing that would really make a difference. We just want the money to stay great. The rules and the rules actually be enforced. Thank you. Yeah. Were there any? I'm trying to think. Were there any rules that weren't enforced last year? I think. I'm trying to think what if anybody. Yes, I'm trying to remember. I feel like there was some. I remember there was like one small. I say small controversy. There was, to be fair, there was one rule actually, yeah, that was a bit, one rule broken in America. Oh, interesting. Just a bit disappointed they didn't announce anything this year for both events. Yeah, like, I think I don't mind that it's been cancelled, it's just not knowing that it's been cancelled. Like, the lack of communication is, like, really unhelpful. Sorry, I'm just chatting. Like, we should just make this a just chatting stream. Like, we're not crafting anything, we're just chatting. And let me see if I can really quickly grab... I want to grab a little bit of foam, which I think I have somewhere handy. Or I thought I had somewhere handy. Apparently, I was mistaken. Is this... Although, actually... Okay, no, it's alright. We can use this piece of scrap foam. Perfect. Excellent. If news with winning design for the EU being done by a judge. Yeah, that was a little bit. I'm sure everyone agrees it was by far the best costume, but it's still a bit dodgy. Yeah, it's one of those... yeah, it's one of those where it's like I would hope that the judges would be kind of trustworthy enough to be like, hey, you know what, actually I'm going to sit out judging a little bit on this one or something like that. I don't know what the right thing is, but you'd hope that they'd kind of be like professional enough to be like, yeah, okay, this is the situation, all of that. But yeah, hey Twitch, get me to judge, yes! Amazonian would be a fabulous judge. I have not been judged in the professional sense by Amazonian. But I imagine that you'd be a very good judge, because like you just know your stuff, which is that's kind of all you really want. And like knowing the contest scene and the kind of the culture and the etiquette and everything, I think that it's definitely a big help, I would say. But yeah, hey Twitch, get Amazonian to judge. Pay for Amazonian's expenses. But then you couldn't compete. So that's the only caveat. Would you rather? I guess. I mean, if you get the free trip, but with the prize monies, is that more alluring than judging? I recommend for sure. You're the best candidate. Yeah. Could the year after? That's fair. Yeah. Yeah, I guess you wouldn't be able to compete that year, but. So yeah, which is like, hey Twitch, if you're ever looking for a judge, go over here. We already know somebody. I guess it's entirely possible, especially depending on who's on that new team as well. Like that could be a whole thing. Is this gonna right? I reckon if I do this in half. Cool. Let's actually do the tiniest bit of actual crafting. I think I would like to mark this up first, though, actually. I just don't entirely trust this. But yeah, speaking briefly briefly of judging and contests and things. Yeah, the Warhammer Fest. Okay, I'm just going to return back to this just because it's the most new and exciting thing in life right now. From our very recent exploits over there. Yeah, the judges were really, really lovely. It was actually really cool. And speaking of like getting people that you admire to kind of judge, one of the judges was Clockwork Dandy Noodles, which I believe was one of the finalists. I think came like second or third in a Crown Champs like a couple of years ago. And I didn't realize it was her at first, but I was like, I remember seeing your cosplay at, I think it was an MCM. I shall hold my tongue. But yeah, she was like really, really lovely. And it was really cool to meet her in person because like I had seen her cosplays previously. I believe at an MCM. It would have only been MCM. But yeah, although I'll hold my tongue. I'm now very intrigued as to a friend of mine is doing a comp. Right? Oh, nice! Right now, like this second, do we need to go over there and cheer them on? Go give them some hype. Yeah, but I would say that I do DMD one discipline later. Okay. I'm very intrigued. But she said that she really fought for my cosplay in the judging, so I'm like forever indebted. Although now I'm very curious. I'm like, do I go on Discord now and be like, oh? I feel like there's I have no idea. I've not looked, but I feel like there's like, oh, is there drama? Oh. I'm an absolute sap for drama. I'm terrible. I'm awful. I'm not even myself, but I will keep an eye on Insta. Oh, fingers crossed for your friend. I hope they do well. Speaking also of like cosplay contest drama, there was a discussion in Discord actually about like kind of basically like sore losers and flipping off judges. Like when they didn't win, and it's like the most baffling thing I think I've ever read. Like, why would you do that? What's wrong with you? That's such a bad idea. Like, oh my goodness, it ain't that deep. we're all just nerds dressing up. Like I do get that like there is a lot of emotion like that goes into the cosplays and a lot of hard work, but like hey, if you didn't win, there's always other contests. Oh, I see. Okay, I'm beginning to piece things together. Oh no. Oh no. I shouldn't laugh, but also that's kind of funny. Right, which way do I want these to go? So what I'm currently doing, I'm gonna be sewing these poppers onto this foam, and then I will. Do I want to do glue as well? Maybe a spot of glue in the center, and then sewing around the edges. I think, and then I will sew these on. Then I will glue these to more foam, and then I can attach these to the insides of that. That's what we're going to do. So what we need is a hot glue gun. Ooh, is my glue gun? Where's my glue gun? There we go. But yeah, I guess the conversation for chat is, I mean, obviously flipping off a judge, not the way forward. But I guess what do we think is the, I don't know, best definitely that's probably an example of the worst way to deal with with losing, but like if there's a best way to deal with not being, like when you're hoping or expecting to do well and it doesn't quite happen for you, like what's the best response? I feel like I think I've definitely heard of a thing of like practice your losing face. Like if you're feeling very very strongly about a competition, like maybe practice practice your losing face and like congratulating people, like if they won but you were like really hoping. maybe that's an advisable thing. Is that turned on? I think it's turned on. Dear. But yeah, I think I've been in the fortunate position thus far of never expecting to win, or like not looking around being like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do well, and then like I've never been in that position. I'm not that like self-centered. I don't think I'm that self-centered. Like sometimes I'm like, oh okay, I think my cosplay is pretty good today. Like I feel good about it, but I never expect to win. I'm just there to like chat with people, have a good time, be on stage, and be like feel a little bit fabulous just for a little bit. You know? As sometimes you can get banned for flipping up and yelling at the judges. I would expect so, honestly. One thing I'll say, because I witness it a lot, is winners criticising themselves and their costumes performance in conversation to the people who didn't win. Don't do that. You'll make the losers feel worse. Oh, yeah, that's very fair. Yeah, no, I get that. Yeah, because if they're like, "Oh no, my costume is terrible," and they're like, "Well, if you think your costume is terrible and you've won, and how bad is mine?" That's fair. I think I would always. I think so. Again, this is kind of just. I have limited experience to base this as off of so far, but so far, I've always just been like, wow, the standard is so high. Like everyone's cosplays are so good that it's like it's a surprise to me to win because everyone else is so good would be kind of the way that I would look at things. Just accept compliments and compliment others. Yeah, yeah. Like at the Warhammer Fest, like I was like, oh, I really enjoyed this person's like performance, and like I mean to be fair, I was complimenting everybody's cosplays like before and after, like the contest. I mean, I can't say I've won one. I only came third. Like that's third, and it's nothing to sniff at, you know. But yeah, though I was told by haters after Crown that I can't sew in a straight line. Like, one, I'm the first to admit my sewing is bad. Two, still one beach. Exactly. Yes. Oh, also, Nightbot is lying to you. We don't have purity seals anymore. The purity seals are gone. We brought them back briefly, and now they're gone again. But yeah, I think it's important to recognize that, yeah, no, even a winning cosplay is never going to be, perfect. Perfection doesn't exist. That's nonsense. Nobody can do that. But like, and yeah, like you can recognize like I did a good job, but also there are things I can improve, and that's just life, really. Like, yeah, you gotta recognize that. Right. But yeah, I'd say maybe not. I think your point about not putting your cosplay down is actually really, really important. I could instantly tell you 5 things wrong with Sansa, but I mean, if you don't point it out, we'd never know. Except maybe the sewing in a straight line because you pointed that out now, but like only because you pointed it out. Or if we're really up close and we can really see things. But yeah, never look at my hems. We know your secret weakness now. It's hems. Oh my gosh, hemming the dress for Cassia was it was okay. I was a bit concerned for a bit, but eventually the hand sewing worked out and it was fine. But it was like, just don't look too closely. It's like, are these stitches perfectly even? They're okay. They're all right. They do the job. They're neat enough. They're neat enough for what we need. Oh, also Nightbot. Did I remember captions? No, I did not. I made part of a cup of tea, walked away and forgot about it, and now it's cold. No! Putting horsehair in Rhaenyra's hem to save time. Ooh, nice, nice. It's the horsehair braid stuff is, so I'm just popping captions on, but I can't see because I haven't got my glasses. It's going to be an adventure. I think it's this one. That looks like captions. Yes, I would like captions. Thank you, Twitch. There we go. Captions. Captions are on. Thank you, Nightbot. Where are we? That's the one we're at. But that's the horsehair braid. That's the stuff that makes it like really, like hold its shape, right? It's cool stuff. I like an excuse to use it at some point, for sure. Ooh. I'm trying to think what cosplays do I have currently in the roster. Now that we're kind of coming to the end of Cassia. Having worn it once now, there's definitely repairs and things that I need to do. And I'd love to do some prosthetics. I've been like itching to do some prosthetic sculpting for Cassia. But in terms of next cosplays, it's an exciting time. Gives it big wavy shape. Yes, that is a much better way of phrasing it. Whatever nonsense I was spewing. Oh. Yeah, it's something that I've seen. It's like, that looks really cool. What can I use it in? I feel like Cassie is not quite the right cosplay for that. I mean, I guess maybe. It's not. I don't feel like it's quite the right cosplay for Horsehair Braid. But one day I will find one. And again, I don't think Gwendolyn would be the right one for that either. Given that all the edges and things of Gwendolyn are very like raggedy and like they don't really, well, they're kind of like flowy in a sense rather than holding their shape, kind of. Does that make sense? I'm not sure that makes sense. Right, what do I need next? I need a needle and some thread. Yeah, the reason I am both gluing and sewing these in is because while we were at the con, one of these snapped off because it was just held on with glue, so I want a little bit of redundancy. Oh, also, actually, I think I need way more of these, actually. Whoops. There's me doing all this, chatting away, and realising actually I need way more. So I think we might have just about enough. Oh, okay, well, now we're a little short. There we go. That's not really thick or wide enough. How's that? That's about the right width. It's kind of got a bunch of stuff on it already, but I think that's okay. For our purposes, I think it will suffice. Like, this does not need to be neat in any stretch. Yeah, I'm quite excited for the prospect of actually starting Gwendolyn in earnest. Like, there's a lot of new techniques, especially like embroidery and gold work and things like that I'm excited to really get my teeth into. As it were, I competed last weekend at a small local event. Oh, nice one, Purple Tea! How did you find it? How was it? Did you have fun? Most importantly, did you have fun? And also, was this your oh, was it? I can never get the name. I can never remember the name. Alakazam? Is that the one? I feel like I'm always getting the name wrong on it. I can point out all the things wrong with Kuro, but will never tell anyone else because all things considered, it's still a good cosplay that's won 3 competitions. I just aim to improve it before I wear it again, if I ever do, because all the shit with RT. It might be retired as cos now. I'm trying to all the shit with RT. What is RT? Tanya. I did not place. I never figure I will, but it would have been nice for them to be more organised and actually look at the reference pic. Ooh, yeah. So that was one thing that apparently at Warhammer Fest they didn't actually provide the judges with the reference pictures that everybody sent in. Because as part of the entry requirement, like, you had to send a reference picture, and apparently the judges didn't have that. And one of the things they're scoring you on is accuracy. And it's like, well, how are they supposed to do that? Oh, Rooster Teeth. Okay, sorry, I'm not down with the kids. Been a dodgy couple of years. I do know the name. I do have a vague recollection that they have had a time, TM. Or been, yeah, not good, not great. Judges didn't have them. That's odd. It is odd. Never trust that the rest you send an application will go to the judges. Always bring your own. Yeah, fortunately, again, because everything was so last minute and panicked, I didn't have enough time to do a full build book. But what I did have, because I always post on there, is my Instagram highlights of like making the cosplay. So fortunately that starts with a reference picture of Cassia so that they could see at least a reference picture for it. But yeah, build book is certainly something that I've got in the back of my head as a thing. But yeah, we were not even told how long a time we would have to be able to talk about the costume. So the judge was moving on when I was trying to talk about my costume still. Oh no, that's not good. Like, I understand that often time is very limited backstage, but they should at least tell you how much time you have. I'm sorry, I'm just going to dive underneath the desk again to poke them. There we go, and we're back. That's bad. Not telling you how long you've got. Like, I've heard absolutely wild things where it's like you've got 2 minutes for like an international level cosplay, and it's like that is not long enough. Love my Ruby cosplays. I don't like Rooster Teeth either, but I'm not sure they're going to be used again or retired. That's fair. Yeah, that's very fair. Like, I think for a while I was like, I'm not that fussed about cosplaying from Crit Roll again, and I kind of like brought Molly back because it's like it's been a while. We had 5 minutes for Crown, way too short. Yeah, we had 5 minutes for Warhammer Fest, which was just about enough time. Like, at least, I mean, there's definitely more things I could have said, and I was still saying things as I was, like, leaving the room, being like, oh yeah, I forgot this. So bad. Probably don't do that. Probably plan it, but we didn't know ahead of time how long we would have for our judging, so it's like, I can't really write a script ahead of time. I'm just gonna, like, you know, go to top to bottom, prioritizing the most important or most, like, visible things. Like, I talked about doing the corsetry and all of that, so it was like, yeah, I managed a reasonable amount, but it's not great. Had 30 seconds left and started to talk about the breastplate. Oh my goodness, that's so stressful. Even at sign-up, they didn't ask for reference pictures. We were given a blank paper, told to put a name of character, level entering, and one thing we were proud of. Ooh, that is odd. That is odd that there's no reference pictures. Because, like, I mean, I don't know, even if it's like an original design or something, you will have designed your design, right? So, like, very odd, very strange. New step in the cosplay process. Practice your explanation speech for 2 to 5 minutes. Yeah. At school, I have 10 minutes to talk about one garment, so I have to talk about your whole cosplay in 2 minutes is just insane. Yeah, exactly. And I think actually although I didn't have a proper build book, the highlight reel on Instagram actually really helped, because they were like, as I was chatting, they were scrolling through things being like, oh, the wax seals are real wax and things like that, and they were like, oh, getting excited about like the magnets in the book and things like that. So yeah, practice your prejudging, absolutely. Yeah, I think in future Zeta and I have come to an agreement that if I'm ever entering something else, I cannot enter it until it is like mostly done. Because we're not doing this in terms of a crunch again, because it was just, I mean, this one worked out okay, you know, we placed, it was good, it was a good time, but the lead up to it was very not fun. So we don't want that, we don't want a repeat of that. So yeah, from now on, we're like making sure that we've got actually enough time to do everything to the standard that we want it to as well. Because I'm looking at this cosplay, I'm like, oh yeah, there's like, I can see there's gaps there, like I want to do stuff to fill that in, you know, just little things, but it's the kind of thing that when you're rushing, you're just like, I just need to get it done. And it's like imperfectly done. Where it's like just having a little bit more room, a little bit more wiggle room, a little more time. I think wouldn't have gone amiss on this occasion. Judge also said that the pattern didn't matter when I said that I purchased a pattern. The patterns are myself. Oh, interesting. At the bigger local con, one of the things judges wanted to know is if we pattern stuff ourselves. Yeah, because I'm very confused. That is weird. Because like I think it's fairly standard. Again, I would love to hear like other people's experiences or thoughts on this. But I think it's fairly standard that people adapt patterns, but like patterning something from scratch, like that is a whole other set of skills. I've never had any scoring affected by somebody buying a pattern. Yeah. Okay, so maybe it doesn't matter so much. The person judging last weekend runs the contest at local con. Okay, so if we're like scoring somebody, and like somebody comes in and say, okay, I adapted this commercial pattern, like they're not going to lose points, because I don't think that tends to be how people judge. As far as I've understood, I think people tend to add points for more skills. So if you say that you pattern something yourself, that implies to me that's like, oh, you might get an extra point because you've patterned, but you're not going to lose points because you didn't. Yeah, you won't lose points, exactly, yeah. Like, you might gain an extra point if you've done it yourself, but I don't think you certainly wouldn't lose, I don't think, because I think that's, like, standard enough a thing. Like, I guess you can pattern things yourself, but like I guess you don't need to reinvent the wheel for every little bit of your cosplay, right? Like if there's a standard pattern for like a basic undergarment, like you don't need to pattern that. Like for sure. That's just making work for yourself. Right? You really don't need to really. Which well, at least that would be my take on it. Again, I'm not a professional judge. I don't know these things, but that would be my guess. Right, where do I need this to go? I need this over here. Yeah, so I'm just sewing these in just to get a little extra stability. I don't think scoring normally is lost by judging patterns, lost by buying patterns, but can be gained for doing it from scratch. Yeah, exactly. It's like you're not going to lose anything, but you're not going to gain anything either. Exactly. Oh, it's unpredictable! Welcome on in. Hello. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. We're chatting about cosplay competitions. Don't mind me just lurking. Very fair, very fair. Have a good lurk. It's very much appreciated. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, we're just chatting about cosplay and competitions and judging and all of that fun stuff. But yeah. Oh. At this point, I'm not sure about entering a local contest. Oh, in the fall, that is. Is this like you don't know like what cosplay you would do for that contest, or you just like want to have a chill time at a local con? Yeah, kind of like trying to decide if it's worth the stress of competing or like having a chill time, or can't quite figure if you want to. Not sure if it's worth entering. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I would say also, like, although we kind of talk a lot about competing around here, I guess because as I'm kind of doing more competitive cosplay, it's going to become more of a theme, I guess, inevitably. But yeah, I will say it's like it's not a requirement in cosplay by any stretch. Like if anybody's watching, like, oh my gosh, I must enter things, it's like no, that's not how it works. It's only if you want to. If you find it a fun thing that you'd like to do, like I'd recommend doing it. Like I really enjoy it. It's been very fun so far with all three experiences of competing. I guess technically four, but one of them was an online contest, so it's I guess it kind of counts, but it's not quite the same. Yeah, right. That is feeling nice and secure, so I think we'll just do a little snip there. And we'll do a little bit more sewing on the next one. Fabulous. So I need to make sure I don't lose all the corresponding pieces. They seem quite liable to go everywhere. Yeah, there seems to be a trend of only popular characters who win locally. Oh, interesting. So kind of regardless of the skill level, it's like, oh, I know that character, I recognize it in this cosplay, therefore they're going to win. Whereas I guess if you don't have reference pictures, like if you're not being given reference pictures, then how are you supposed to know if something is accurate? Still good costumes, yeah. I guess that might track a little bit if they've not got those reference pictures. And they're just like, well, I recognize this. I know what this should look like, and this looks like that. Therefore, this person wins. Just because some of us enjoy comps doesn't mean everyone needs to. Exactly. Especially if you don't enjoy them or don't like that particular competition. Yeah, that's very true as well. Like, there's like, things like Warhammer Fest where it's a specific fandom. Like, I don't think I would ever enter I don't know, like, I think there was a League of Legends one, because like I've never played that game. I have no particular affinity for the characters or their designs. Like, I'm not going to make a whole contest, like, entry for that, Last year the judges didn't even look at my picks that I provided. Oh, yeah, no, this sounds like a contest that, at least whoever they've had judging previously, like, what are they doing? What's going on? Why are you looking at people's reference pictures? Because, like, how are you supposed to judge that? Like, that's very strange. That's very strange to me. Why would you do that? This makes precisely 0 sense. Very strange. I yeah, I guess the other thing on the note of competitions that you don't enjoy is like if you've heard through the grapevine that certain contests are just not very good or just poorly organized, then it's like, well, you know what, I'm not going to bother because there's just going to be more stress than it's worth. Like, for sure. Ooh. Oh, what have I done there? What have I done? I mean, it doesn't matter, but I've done something very odd. Was I too busy chatting? I've done something strange. I mean, it's holding it secure, so I'm not first, but it's what's happened here? What did I do? Very strange, very silly. Yeah, that does sound a little strange, Purple Tea. I wonder why. I'd be fascinated to know how they could possibly even attempt to justify like not looking at your pictures. Oh, on a good note, I remember to get a pic at the local event. Well, that's the good stuff. Like I guess as long as you can find other ways, I think also actually really important to make sure that you can find other ways to enjoy the event and everything because I think the majority of contests and things is like you don't tend to get like with maybe the exception of TwitchCon is like you don't tend to be paid to go there, right? So you might as well like enjoy it as much as you can outside of the contest. Because lower quality events will have lower quality judging. Ooh, yeah. I mean, unfortunately, I think that might be the case. There was a local photographer who had a setup. Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah, I will say there's one of the folks at the UK CGF. There's like I don't know if he's like a resident photographer or something, but he's very good. And he just to be fair, in the UK the way that photography tends to work is that it has to be you can't charge at cons. But yes, I just got spooked because the subtitles have never worked for me before, but now I can see them. Not that you haven't been turning them on, just the plugin never normally works. Hilarious. I wonder if it like watching on different like platforms maybe or like different devices. Maybe that's it. I have some cosplays that are just for fun. I don't do comps in them. I just wear them to cons and take pics of them. Yeah, yeah. I could pick in Discord under cosplay. Yes, absolutely. I love always love seeing the cosplays. What are we doing? Let's see. A couple more of these. Yeah, do I have Discord open? Oh, I don't think I do. Ooh, where's the Discord? Oh my goodness, the screen is too far away for me to see. So silly. Right, can I get my Discord? Oh, you know what, I might end up going on the phone. I think phone might be the safer bet. Oh, I'm thinking about it. To be fair, it's so far away. I'm not going to be able to appreciate it anyway. We'll do it on the phone. Then, magical. Let's have a quick gander. Ooh, apparently high sugar levels. That's fun. Okay. Where are we going? Discord, cosplay. There we go. Oh, it looks so good! That's such a, like, the lighting and the photography is like, chef's kiss. That's so good. I found that closed caption works on my laptop but not my phone or Kindle. Yeah, I reckon it must be something like that. I do keep meaning to update my closed caption setups to one that may be slightly better. It is on a very long list of things that I mean to start at some point. Also send a pic of stuffy I made. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me snip this and have a look at this. Look at this stuffy. Let's go. Discord crafts. Oh my goodness, it's so cute. It's a little axolotl. Oh, I love it. Oh, youngest birthday present. So cute. Oh, absolutely adorable. I reached a point I'm like, oh, I hope your kids ain't around to hear me say it's an axolotl. It's for you. Dear, I assume it's either an open secret. Oh, I'm very sorry. Youngest is going to be 17. Oh my goodness, they grow up so fast. So fast. On laptop with headphones. Okay, we're safe. I can scream your kids' birthday presents super loud. It's all fine. Such a cute gift though. It's like so wholesome. Like handmade, homemade gifts. Oh, 10 out of 10. Every time. So cute. Oh, hello. That's not worked at all. Huh. Let's try that again. They've also asked for a helix piercing. Oh wait, hold on. Which bit is helix? Helix is part of the ear? Is that? Wait, where is helix? What is helix? Why are helix? There we go. Also, I realised I've probably just been like slightly off screen this whole time. Upper ear. Nice. I keep saying like at some point I want to get more piercings. Like for a while I was very much like, I really want to get my septum done. Septum? Is that right? The bit is here. Like for ages I've been like, I'd quite like that, but I think to be honest, I'd probably just get like the fake ones. I'll just get a fake one and be like, yep, I can take this in and out at my leisure. No problem. No stress. No pain, most importantly. I think I'm okay at pain. Although to be fair, the last time I got an ear piercing, I did like almost pass out. Like, I was absolutely fine. Like, on a like cognitively, I was like, yeah, piercing, needles, I deal with this all the time. And it was only like when I stood up after getting it done that my body was like, no, you're not fine. I'm like, uh-oh. I felt very unwell. I think my body was like, went into a little bit of shock. Because I was like, oh, I feel very nauseous, very lightheaded. It was really strange. Because like I say, like cognitively, I have no problem with needles. I'm like, okay, they're not my favourite. But, yeah. Oh no, psych. Yeah, it was literally my body. My body was like, surprise! How about shock? I was like, oh no. Bless them, the piercers had some Lucozade on hand, so I ended up like drinking a load of the Lucozade and then it was fine. But yeah, it was really strange. Because like as a diabetic, I inject myself, you know, not hundreds of times, but many times a day. You know, it really shouldn't be an issue. And yet for whatever reason, my body was like, no. You're not walking out of here right now. It's a whole time. Apparently my friend went back there not long after to get another piercing and they were like, oh, I remember you. How's your friend doing? Are they better now? It's so bad. Oh dear. Like they remembered that I was almost passed out. So embarrassing. Because they make you sign a piece of paperwork before as well, being like, I consent to having my ear pierced, I know what's happening, I know what's going on. And they have like a tick box at the end being like, yeah, I've never passed out from a piercing or things like that. And I was like, nope, never had this, fine. Like, because I had like my first done as a kid, where I was still quite young. And like that was absolutely fine. I mean, it was Claire's accessories, so you know, it was it was, you know, the old piercing gun, all of the things that makes an actual piercer cringe. But I will say, I was a kid, I didn't know any better. I was just like, I like my ears pierced, and like loads of people, like loads of my friends had gotten their ears done there as well, and it was like, yeah, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. It's not fine. Don't get your ears pierced there. Go to somebody, research, know who you're going to. Don't get your ears done at Claire's or anything else for that matter. Don't get pierced at Claire's. It's not the way. Oh dear. Also, are Claire's accessories, are those international? Are those a uniquely UK thing, or are they an everywhere thing? Am I saying Claire's accessories and everyone's like, who? What? Who's Claire? Why do you hate Claire so much? I assume they're international, but now I'm second guessing it. There are Claire's in Canada and USA. Okay, cool. I kind of assume they were everywhere, but every so often there's just like weird things that are in some places but not in others. I have a fake nose and industrial piercing, but because I'm not sure I want to get real ones yet. I had my lobes done when I was like 8 with a gun and didn't have a problem. Yeah, very, very similar. Like, I've heard industrials can be really tricky. Like, if you've not got the right... Oh, my phone is... I'm just going to do a really quick cyber bound scan, just because I'm like, this is kind of going some. I just want to keep an eye on it, you know? Let's see. Oh, that's really good. Why is it doing that? It didn't used to be that bad. What's going on? Very odd. We were doing so much better at the whole diabetes thing. And in the last couple of days, it's just been really, really on one. I don't have any needles. We might be treating ourselves to a very quick chair stream. just while I grab a new needle, because I appear to be all out. Yeah, we're all out of needles. Yeah, on the subject of needles. We'll come back with a needle and injection. Yeah, because I don't think I've got any around. Okay, very quick, very brief chair stream while I go grab some needles. And I will be right back and I'll do injection and we'll continue this conversation about piercings. Oh no! Oh no, I lied. I do have one. I just happened to have one on the desk. Not in the drawer, but on the desk. There we go. Sorry, no chair stream. Chairman, madame, so sorry. Ask not for whom the bobbins scream. They scream for the... that one did make it. It made it onto the cosplay. I can't remember where. I don't think it went on the book. I think it went on the back. Oh yeah, it went on a circly bit on the back of the armour. Because I was like, it looks like a bobbin. Therefore, we'll put the bobbin there. It was great fun. Yeah, sorry. Lies and slander. I didn't go anywhere. Apologies. I mean, I can't just get up and leave for a bit if we'd rather have a chair stream. I mean, we're not here for me. We're only here for the chair. The chair is the important one. Yeah. Ooh, ow. Ooh. That's quite painful. I definitely injected. Yeah, I remember injecting for breakfast, so it can't be that. Very odd. But he's going up very, very quickly in a way that's not my favourite, if I'm honest. So just gonna do something like that. There we go, we're done. Right. Where were we? We were about to do the last of our bobbin stitches. Oh my goodness. And pop that. There. Ooh, nope, that's nope, it's not having it. It's not having it. There we are. Right. But yeah, industrial piercings, I think they look really cool, but I have heard that they can be a bit tricky. Like I think interact, like if you've not got the right like face shape for them, they can be a bit tricky. The tattoo artist I go to shares a studio with a couple of piercers and they're super nice, so I know who I would go to if I decide I want piercings, and I trust them to tell me if it's a bad idea. That's good. It's really good if you can find somewhere that you know and trust, because I think that's it. Lies! Nightbot lies once again. It does. Nightbot is lying. I need to have a word with Nightbot. Let it know that this is not acceptable behaviour. Like, what are you doing, Nightbot? Stop that. Absolute nonsense. Lies and slander. Like, what's happening? What are you doing? What are you doing, Nightbot? I mean, Nightbot is, to be fair, only doing what I told it to. But it's just what I told it is now out of date. Poor Nightbot, we're giving it such a hard time. Like trees. Oh, Nightbot isn't. There we go. Nightbot's trying to make amends by talking about trees instead. We do still have the trees. We have options for trees. So silly. Oh, there we go. Right. Oh, I done something a bit strange there. That's okay. And it will be right. Yeah, do we know anyone? I don't think so. I feel like we don't know anybody, but we know people who would know, if that makes sense, in our local area that would be good. Because we know a few folks, like, who I think... I know a couple of people actually with like quite a few piercings. I mean, I'd probably go back to the place that I had my seconds done. They'd be like, no, not you again. But like the people there were really good. Like they clearly knew what they were doing. Like everything was very clean, very sanitary. Like everything that you kind of want it. I don't think I would necessarily. They did have a tattoo artist, and I was kind of like looking at some of that artwork, and I was like, okay, this is fine, but I'm not sure it's quite my style. You know? So I was like, I don't think I'd go there for tattoos. But if I was going to get more piercings, I'd probably go back there. Like they seem very nice, and like yeah, they were good. They clearly knew what they were doing. I did discover a couple of things I will fix before I wear Tanya costume again. Thankfully, they're small and easy fixes. Yeah, there was definitely something with Cassia. Like having only finished it the day of, I was very nervous in the morning that it wouldn't work and it wouldn't come together. Fortunately, everything did, but there's a couple of like just quality of life things like this that we're currently fixing up right now that I think will just make it a little bit better, a little bit easier to work with. Also need a wig. The one I dyed got way too tangled. Oh no, ended up dyeing my own hair. Needed 2 boxes. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of dye. Yeah, if you've got any amount of hair, Dye can end up getting just very out of hand very quickly. Yeah, oh, it's a shame the one that you dyed got tangled. That sucks. I've heard there's like some kind of like silicone type spray apparently is really good for preventing or at least making it harder for wigs to tangle. So maybe that could be something to look into. I've not used that myself, but I've heard good things. I think probably want to test. My hair is past my waist. That's a lot of hair. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's not just any amount of hair. That's properly a lot amount of hair. Dang. Wow. I'd love to be able to grow my hair out more, but I think because I bleach it and get it coloured so much, once it gets much past where it is now, like at the back, it gets so fried. It's so frazzled. Like I like the idea of longer hair, but we've yet to reach that point. It tangled during the dyeing process. Oh, it was a wig that I had that I don't remember where it came from, and some of it melted. Oh no. Oh yeah, there's no salvaging that if it's melted. That's a lot of dye and a lot of hair. Yeah, that is a lot. What? Wait, was that your tanning cosplay? Hold on, I need to look at this hair color. Ooh, more closely. Ooh. Cosplay. Let's do it. Cosplay. It's kind of like it's like a really nice, like reddish, like auburn. That is a beautiful color. I can see how it kind of like matches a bit of the cosplay as well. Very cool. Oh, so pleasing. I had to straighten my hair for the day. It takes a while. I would think so. It's a lot of hair. I just had a thought. So I know it's become kind of the common thing I say recent years. I think for quite a long time now to do like wigs rather than dyeing your own hair. But apparently that used to be the thing of like you would use your own hair and people would frown on people that used wigs, which is completely baffling to me now. Like looking at this from like 2023 eyes or even like 2010 eyes, honestly. I can't imagine that people would just use their own hair like that was the standard. Baffling. But I guess wigs and things are a lot more accessible now, so maybe that's why. But yeah, truly baffling, especially for like anime hairstyles. Like how? But I guess just because it's become so much more popular, I guess it's a lot more accessible these days. Although that said, is it more accessible to like go to a good hair salon and get your hair done in weird colours and things? Or maybe do people just not do that? Or do they use like hair wax and things that were more temporary? Like, I have so many questions. So many questions. Right, what do I need now? I need... I need some more foam. Yeah, I need some more 5mm foam, I think, to stack it up to make it into a nice block. Kagrabah, that's it. I don't know why I always think it's called Alakazam. It's Kagrabah. Won't need a wig. That is a big bonus point. I like the idea of long hair, but I dyed it on Monday. On Monday, in a few months, I'm probably gonna get it cut short again, as my hair doesn't feel great when my hair gets to about my ears. It isn't long enough to tie up, but it's a sensory nightmare. There is that middle zone. That middle zone where it's like, it's not short, it's not long, and it's just a pain because you can't do anything with it. I know exactly the things you mean, and it's just sort of there, and it's in your face, and you're like, what do I do? It's the worst. Starting back up on Kagrabah soon. Need to make pants and tailcoat for Sun fairs. That's very fair. Oh yeah, did your kids come with you to the Comic Con as well? Did they have fun? I just need to find. I'm gonna go and grab my. We are gonna get a little chair stream just while I go and find some scrap bits of foam, because I've got a massive bag full of scraps. So yes, we do get the Chimamans after all. I will be right back. Let's go. You will do. You will do. More than enough. Chairman upon its many-wheeled base, the chair supports us all. It does. Without the chair, there is no stream. Oh dear. Although we have been speculating that something in our desk setup is not great for my back, because if I'm sitting down here and just like sitting at my laptop typing and things, I like there's for some reason like the right side just I guess really it's not good. My chair muscles, my back muscles are like please help. This is awful. So yeah, that might be something at some point. We might have to get a new chair because it's like this is not working for me. Oh dear. Right. I think I've been doing this at 1.5 centimeters, so I think I will continue to do this at 1.5 centimeters. And we will cut accordingly. 1.5. There we are. Chair muscles. Yep. Ooh, what was that? Something's taken a tumble off a table. I wore my Pot of Greed costume on the Saturday of con last weekend. It went over well, especially since I was handing out 2 cards at a time to people. That's so good. Things where you can have like really fun stuff to give away as well. Just like that little bit of extra interaction. It's just so wholesome. Ended up in a cosplay video for the weekend. I was asked and I said yes. Nice. That's always the best feeling. Like when you're asked, or like being asked for photos and video and stuff like that. So it's just like I feel like celebrity. I feel so loved. It's good. It's a nice feeling. It's a really lovely feeling. It's like, my cosplay's being appreciated. But I think it's also actually really important to recognise if you're not being asked for pictures and things, it's not because your cosplay is rubbish or anything like that. Like, I think sometimes people just don't necessarily recognise things. That tends to be the case. If people aren't asking for pictures, it's just like a niche thing. But it doesn't mean your cosplay isn't any good. It's just people, they have yet to reach a point where they are in a position to appreciate it. I was surprised people asked for pics of Pot of Greed. I mean, your cosplays are always really good, though. I think that's also the really interesting thing is like if it's a niche cosplay, but people still want pictures because they're just like, I just really like this. I think that's wholesome. My hair got to that length before its last cut, and I went to the barber and asked him to shave it because every time I sat by my laptop, it all hung in my eyes. I'm lucky to have good barber, and she took it to just above my eyebrows. When straight, so it's short but not shaved. That's good. That's a nice length. No one seemed to know Tanya or the show, so when asked, I said I was a dragon girl. That's very fair. I mean, is Tanya also a dragon girl? Because I guess it's like it's factually correct. It's still a dragon. Ooh. Yeah. Sometimes there's so many times when I'm at cons because I am a scrub, as we've established many times on this channel. That like references to pop culture, I am actually quite terrible. So like oftentimes at cons, I will see cosplays. I'm like, that's really cool. I don't know what it is, but it's really cool. I like it. And it just becomes this like kind of infinite cycle. I also just realised I can probably actually save myself a bit of time if I go for slightly thicker foam. Do I do that? Do I do sensible things? That doesn't sound like the kind of thing that I would do. Sensible things? No, doubt. Humanish form is the one seen in the show. Okay, she's a dragon that has a more human version. Oh, okay, nice. Humanish form is the one most seen in the show. That makes sense. Yeah, I'd imagine if you've got a dragon character trying to interact with like humans, just regular old humans. There's something about the Ferengi pronunciation of human gets me every time. Sorry, but no, if you've got a dragon that's like interacting with people, yeah, probably easier to do that when you're on the same level. Just like being able to talk face to face, things like that, it helps. Right, there we go. Right, I've got 2 lines. Like so. And like so. she has wings also when in her human form, but they're only seen in one episode for a few minutes. Oh, interesting. It's kind of fun that she gets to keep some of her dragony attributes. That's very fun. Speaking of characters that can kind of like transform and things, so one of our friends recently had told us about that they had aspirations of setting up a Pathfinder game. And Zeta and I, we are big fans of RPGs. Like, we've played a lot of D&D, but we've always been intrigued by like other systems. And so we've started looking up some of the character creation options for Pathfinder. And my current frontrunner character idea is one where they have multiple forms. And like most of the time they're kind of human form. But if they trust you, they'll show you their like real form. And they're little spider people. They're just like, this is going to be a little Spider-Man. They're not like Spider-Man the hero, just like a spider that is also a little man. Because that's like, he has a human form. And like the rest of the time is just like, he's just a spider. That's what it is. And so a couple of cosplays from Our House. Yes! Our House cosplays. Wholesome. It warms my soul. I keep saying that I need to do an Owl House cosplay of some description. It'll be so much fun. Yeah, you've seen Owl House, right, Purple Tea? Whomst did you see from the House of Owls? For some reason saying the House of Owls makes me think of like Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon. If it was like Owl House, but Game of Thrones. Haven't finished it yet. Okay, cool. So, yes, okay, so you started it. Where have you gotten up to, if you don't mind me asking? Also, if we can ask in maybe a spoiler-ish free way. We're not going to have any spoilers in chat for Purple Tea. We don't want to ruin anything for anybody. Right, that is 1, 2, 3, 4. That is 1, 2, 3. We need a few more, a couple more. Okay. Right, guys, is that measured out? Is that right? I think so. Look. Yeah, 1.5. Perfect. Sweet. Ooh, there we go. Also, I don't recognise this song. What is this song? Well done. So Ida cosplay and a collector one. Yeah. Ida's. I love Ida so much. I love all of them so much. Oh, okay. I just don't recognise that song. Okay, fair enough. Sorry, I just wanted to double check that I wasn't. Spotify hadn't put us on some other playlist that was going to get me like copyright striked or something. Right, and one more lot of this, and then we might go. We do a little bit of gluing, and we go from there. Got about halfway into second season. Nice. Second season. It's so sad that they didn't get more seasons. They absolutely deserved more. Second season, I mean, it's all good, but I think second is where things really kind of get going, get very exciting. There we go. Right. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Fabulous. Right. We need a little bit of glue, which means we're gonna briefly go into Bane mode, just while we do some gluing, because it is contact cement and it is gonna be stinky. It's the only way to describe it. It is gonna be stinky. My glue is somewhere in here. There we go. Right, where is my mask? That's the real question. I don't know where this mask has gone. Maybe we won't do gluing because I can't find my mask. We have lots of lovely stacks. However, all of these stacks are going to be somewhat useless to us if I can't actually glue them together. What time are we on? Where are we? We're 10 to 2. Okay, tell you what, I wonder if we might go on maybe a little 5-minute break just so I can go rootling around and have a look for this mask. Maybe have a little stretch, pop some glue, all that good stuff. And then we come back for part 2 where we will glue all our little bits and pieces together, and probably sew it into the dress as well. So the corresponding the little bits, these little bits into the dress. So then that's done. I think that will be our most sensible course of action. So yeah, we're going to take a 5-minute break, maybe, depending on how long it takes me to find this mask, maybe slightly longer, but about a 5-minute break. So grab yourself snacks, drinks, all of those good things, and I will see you in about 5. Goodbye! Oh, where's my break? Oh wait, hold on, I can put you with the fish! Sorry, I haven't set up my shortcuts for fish yet. But there we go. Have some fish. How are the fish doing? The fish are doing okay. All my fish died when we went away for Warhammer Fest, so I've had to start again. But yes, enjoy some fish, and I will see you very, very soon. Hello again. Fish stream, the fish are going strong. Yeah, some of them did die while we were, well, I think all of them died actually, while I was away. But they're doing all right. So many fish. There we go. You see what's going on in some of the other tanks? Or no, some of them got plague. One of them's got plague. Stop that. No more plague. Oh no. It's really hard to get rid of the plague. Go on. Oh no, I'm gonna have to buy some more medicine. I'm sure it'll be fine. Yeah, loads, so many fish for days. Welcome back, everybody, welcome back. Okay, so here's our current situation. I'm going to leave us on fish just for a little bit longer because basically our situation is that we don't have, or I cannot find, the mask. I don't think we took it to our friends in Manchester, but I can't completely rule it out because we cannot find it anywhere here. So in the meantime, we're going to not do gluing, but we are going to do some more sewing by hand. But what this does mean is that I will need to very briefly get into the dress for Cassia so I can kind of line things up properly. So I'm going to leave us on fish for just a little bit longer. While I do that, just because there's a certain level of faffery involved. Poor plague fish, indeed. The poor fish. Let's see if we can get some. Let's get some ick treatment. You can see one of the fish in here has ick. Let's see if we can get rid of the ick. There we go. We got the ick. I don't think there's any more ick. Is there any more ick? No, I think it's just green plague now. Okay, so we need to get a different medicine. There we go. Lovely. Yes, I would like some of this, and hopefully we can get plague. No more plague. No more plague, thank you. There we go, I think we have plague-free fish. If you do spot any other plague fish, please let me know. Right, in the meantime, I am going to, I'm going to put on the Cassia dress, and then we'll have a brief little bit of faffery with the armour over the top, and then we'll do some markings, and we'll do some sewing. That's what we're going to do. Until we can figure out what on earth has happened to that mask, because I was sure it's around, and yet I am not seeing it, so it's ended up somewhere. We just don't know where. Though to be fair, I do need a new mask because it started, once it gets to a point where you can smell things through the mask, that means it's no longer doing its job, and I think we were reaching that cusp as while we were in the extreme con crunch. So yes, that's what we're going to do next. And I'll probably order myself a new mask because it needs replacing, I think, at this point, regardless. But yeah, how's everybody doing? Did we have good breaks? Did we grab some snacks or drinks or stretches or any of those good things? And while we're musing on that, I'm just gonna, you'll hear some fabric rustling vaguely in the background while I try and get this dress on. Because yeah, I'm very proud of the invisible zip, but it's just a lot of faff. And like there's a level of faffery that I'm like, nobody needs to see this. Yeah, I'm quite pleased with my invisible zip. Ooh. Right, where's our head hole? To be fair, this is going to be easier to get on and off than usual because normally I would be putting the corset on underneath, but I don't think I'll need it on this occasion. So I think we'll be all right. Right, let's. Dress is on mostly. Just need to zip her up at the back, which is going to be all kinds of fun. Oh, not too bad actually. There we go. Right. There we go. Hello again. We're in a dress. We now have a dress. We also now get to play all the fun of can we get the oh hello. That's Instagram. What's going on here? Stop that. No. There we go. Lovely. Right, so dress is on. As you can see, there's like these little bits. So those are the corresponding parts for this armour. And what we're going to do is, I'm going to pop on the big armour as well. So brief chair stream. because we need to make a couple of small adjustments to this armour. Well, not so much adjustments as just little quality of life things. In that, because we have a really big backpack. Oh, there's also the circle with the bobbin. Hold on, if we swirl this way, is it easier to see? Nope, there we go. There's your bobbin. There's your bobbin seal. So yeah, because it's so heavy at the back, basically the armour wants to sit way up there. So I want to try and make it so that it has some kind of fastening. Basically, I want to put a fastening there, I think. So on the underside of this, there we go. I'm going to put a fastening. The chairmanments strike again. So yeah, we're going to put a little, well actually we're going to put quite a big clasp on this one. We're going to put some of these on the sides. So what I want to do is, oh my goodness, Faye Helmet! Welcome to the community. Welcome. Sorry, we're going to have lots of belated alerts because we get very excited. It's definitely not a feature of our slightly skewy setup. Ooh, there we go. It's a feature, not a bug. It's the many alerts. But welcome on in. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome. We're currently sorting out, we're attempting to sort out some of this armour. So yeah, I think what we're going to do, we're going to pop a little X marks the spot on each side, I think, with our pen, and hopefully that will A, show up, and B, well, mostly we just want it to show up, really. And then we know roughly where we want to put it on. There. Ooh. New friends! Welcome! Yeah, welcome. Can we get some hype for new people? Oh, right. Let's pop this off. I think we can probably keep the dress on, to be honest. Oh, actually, no, we can't. Sorry, we're going to go into faffery mode once again. Or are we? Can we? Oh, we might. You know what? Actually, we can keep the dress on for a little bit while we work on the armour. Let's do that. So what we're going to do, we're going to use a little bit of glue again. Oh, this is like properly taking up all the depths. Oh, thank you for the hype. Yes, Purple Tea. Yeah, bringing in the hype. Oh, also thank you, Nightbot, for the trees. So yeah, we'll keep the dress on for a little bit because we can sort out at least the inside of the armour, which we will do. So yeah, these are some like these I think are the biggest popper kind of closures I think I've ever seen. They are something else. And what we're going to do, we are going to sew them in, which is going to leave a mark there, but we're going to add some like additional, just a little decoration to hide a multitude of sins, and then also make it a little bit more congruent with like everything that's happening on the front. And then I'll kind of touch up the paint job with that as well. So that's the goal. Those are our aspirations. Also, there's so many little bits. I'm like, I want to fill in some gaps, just make it look a little nicer, all in all. So yeah, we'll probably do some updates in that kind of vein. Bobbin scream. It does. I guess these do kind of look almost like bobbins. Actually, I think they're actually bigger than bobbins, which is kind of impressive. Just so much, so much. So seeing the name Faye Helmet, I'm now imagining like some Faye like, I don't know, Lord of the Rings style, like interesting helmet design. That's what I'm getting. Very fun designs to be had, for sure. Right, so what are we doing? Which way up do I want these to go? I'm trying to think which. Because there's like a little bit more flexibility in the dress than there is the armour. Although on this occasion, actually, the armour is going to be more flexible. So I think, I don't know that it's going to make a huge amount of difference. I think we're going to put the big one on the armour. I think that's what we're going to do it that way around. That's what we're going to do. Is that right? Is that right? Does this also mean they can like infinitely stack? Does this... Sorry, I feel like I just have a compulsion to see if this is... No. Okay, so that doesn't fit in there, but does this fit in that? No. Okay. I'm just really curious for a second. I'm like, how do these work? Right, yes. So we're going to put the big ones in there. Like so. I think that is our most sensible option. So I think what we'll use a little bit of glue again. And then we'll sew it in again. So we have multiple means of attachment, which I think should make it the most secure it can possibly be. Okay, so that's the aspiration anyway. But yeah, overall the dress is actually like weirdly comfortable. It's like, it's alright, it's not bad. Great. Oh, also Nightbot, thank you for the caption reminder, because they do need resetting every so often, which means we must be at 2 o'clock already. Oh my goodness. Captions, stuff, there we go. There we are. So yeah, all things considered, this cosplay was surprisingly comfortable, with maybe the exception of the like 6-inch heels. It was so tall. I don't know, are they visible? I think they are just about visible in my little compilation what's it. Anyway, can I find out while we wait for this to warm up? Can we find our compilation? No, we got to cycle round. That's the only thing about it, is like we do have to like cycle through all the other cosplays first. Oh my goodness. I also love that both of my things with the 86th floor are like just looking around. Just like, oh, what's over there? What's over there? Oh, it's so silly. I probably should have put Cassia first, just because we're talking about Cassia a lot more at the moment. Oh my goodness. Oh, Vaporeon. So silly. Oh dear. Yeah, I have so many mixed feelings about Vaporeon. Vaporeon was a very intense build, but am I pleased with how it turned out? I don't know. It's like I look at it, it's like there's things I'm really proud of, but there's also things that I'm like, yeah, this didn't quite work out the way that I was hoping. Right? Can we see the heels in this? You can just about see the heels. So tall. So much heel. Absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, unfortunately, the staff also took an injury. Like, there's a few bits that broke, and unfortunately, one of the wings snapped on the staff. It fell on the floor, and it was like there was no salvaging it after that point. But no, the heels were the single most uncomfortable thing. I think I'm still kind of trying to recover feeling in one of my feet though. Like it got to a point where one of my I had like really weirdly like numb feet. Is this too much info? It might be too much info. Please tell me if it's too much info. But apparently we're sharing it anyway. Oh no, yeah. And I'm still kind of recovering that. I tried to fix it. Oh no, you're all fine. Like Zeta, bless his soul, spent I don't know how long sitting on the floor trying to get this thing to stick. And I was like, there is no way. There is no way. Like, he tried, it was a valiant effort. Truly, truly worthy of heroes. A magnificent effort, but I just knew there was no way. Look, baking! Oh, good luck with your baking. I hope it turns out well. Remember, whenever you're baking, to bring some back for the rest of stream, so we can enjoy it as well. Good luck. I hope it goes well. Baking is fun. We've not baked anything in the longest time. We've gotten really into ice cream recently. After acquiring the ice cream maker, we recently did, and when I say we, I mean Zeta, did a really, really good, it was like pina colada, so it was like coconut and pineapple flavour ice cream. It was so good. It was like made with coconut milk and coconut cream. Delicious. Just, yes. Sparks so much joy. Right, that is nice and wedged in there. Baking coffee tart. My parents' birthday is tomorrow, and it's their favourite. Coffee tart. That does sound good. Ooh. So is it like, I'm trying to picture, is it like some kind of mousse or cream or something that's like coffee flavour? Ooh. Also, if you do need to go and get baking, please don't feel like you're obliged to keep answering. I'm much intrigued. That does sound good. Or like some kind of coffee custard. That's what I'm imagining. That sounds delightful. 10 out of 10, delicious. Right, so what we need now, I think I'm going to use a little bit of invisible thread. I think that is probably our, is that our most sensible option? Maybe. Yeah, let's try invisible thread. If it doesn't work out, we can use regular thread. I think that's fine. We're going to stick stuff over the top anyway, so maybe it doesn't really matter. Do we use regular thread? Maybe we use regular thread. It's nicer to work with. We'll use regular thread. There we go. It's a sugarless chocolate cake with coffee, simple syrup poured over, and caramel and cream on top. Ooh, it does sound good. Also, the fact that it's sugarless as well. Fascinating. I've always found it like really interesting because I think on Bake Off, and it was a number of years ago now, I think they did an episode where they had to use sugarless recipes, and I found it kind of fascinating as a diabetic watching this show, because I was like, what? I see that you've not added like granulated sugar, but those dried fruits, those are loaded with sugar, so it's not really sugarless, it's just sugar but in a different form. I was like, you can't serve this to a diabetic and be like, oh yeah, you don't need to inject because it's sugarless, because it still has sugar. It's just the way that it's in there is slightly different to normal. Maybe I was overthinking it. I believe the premise was that you didn't have sugar, but then there were people adding syrup, and it's like, well, that's just liquid sugar. I'm so confused. What's going on? So yeah, maybe I wouldn't have been the best person for that challenge. I'd just be like, what are you doing? It's still sugar. Let's go like that, I think. Is that the best way? I don't know that it's the best way. Oh, this is going to be a pain. Oh, come on. There we go. Right, okay, we're through. There's no sugar or sweeteners in the cake itself, but the simple syrup is mostly sugar. Ah, okay. Yeah, I was going to say, it's like, I feel like a like admirable kind of thing for the show to be like, oh yeah, sugar-free. Like, I think that's a really interesting challenge, but like, I feel like it's like, don't pretend like it's sugar-free, because it's not. It's still, I can't eat this. Don't pretend like I can. Like, so offended as a diabetic. Like, no, there's still sugar in here. Right, I'm going to do a knot here, just because I know that it can be it's very tempting with the foam for the thread to kind of get unknotted, or like to come through, so I'm just trying to make sure it's super extra secure where possible. I think we'll do another point over here, maybe. There we go. Lovely. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Simple syrup, is that like, is simple syrup like literally just kind of the sugar and water boiled? Is that simple syrup? I also find it funny that I'd like judge these bakers for like, how dare you not use sugar-free things, as if I know anything about baking. And I was like, clearly not. I have a couple of recipes and that's it. That's the extent of the baking. Have I made a mistake here? I might have. We go. Oh no, I can go that way. Okay, that's fine. Oh nope, that ain't it. That's not right. Oh, let's try that again. Nope. I'm just making a mess. Oh dear. I realise also, actually, probably Velcro is a better shout for this particular job, because it would be a lot more flush. Ah, well. Simple syrup is sugar and water in equal parts, boiled for 5 to 10 minutes. Ah, okay, cool. It is the stuff that I was thinking of. which I think anytime I've attempted to make it, I failed miserably because I'd get impatient and like, why isn't it the right colour? It would condense a bit and slightly change colour. Yeah, I think I'd always be like waiting for it to change and it like never did, and I'd be like, why isn't it working? It's like, because you have no patience, that's why. Oh, so silly. Right, there we go. And I think we go back that way, I reckon. Or can we persuade this to go through? Maybe. So if you were doing Bake Off, what would your signature bacon? What would your signature bake be? Like the one recipe you're like, yes, this is the pinnacle of my baking expertise, and it's the thing that I will make any day of the week. Sometimes it works well even in cold coffee. Stir often. Maybe that's it. But, like, trying not to stir it because I didn't want to disturb it. But maybe it's one where my impatience can be used to an advantage. In cold coffee, that makes a lot of sense. I can imagine like iced coffee kind of situation. Like I can totally see. Stirring will not hurt. Where did I get the idea that you're not supposed to stir it from? Interesting. Right, okay. So that's nice and secure in there now. That's not going anywhere. Perfection. I kind of want to do a little blob of glue. I think I might put a little bit of fabric glue just on that last little bit. Oh my gosh, my dress is caught. My dress is caught. Oh dear. Oh, the chair's eating the dress. It's going well. Is my fabric glue? No, my nearest glue. The glue that I want. Okay, that'll be an off-stream job then. Just because that's a little bit too far to go to reach. Granulated sugar will not dissolve well in cold liquid. That is true. That is true. I mean, I guess when you're adding it to like granulated sugar to your hot coffees and things, makes a lot of sense. Yeah, so syrup it instead. Absolutely tracks. Oh. Now that we're getting into the warmer seasons, like iced coffee, it is the time of year. To be fair, my mocha at the moment is very cold. If I added some ice cubes to it and just cooled it, now it's like, oh yeah, it was always intended to be an iced coffee for sure. It's definitely how it works. I'm not just drinking coffee that's gotten cold or a mocha that's gotten cold. No, completely intentional. It's all part of the plan. So silly. Right, oh, the other thing I actually meant to check is did my markings show up on the dress at all? I don't think they did. Okay, well, we'll grab some chalk. That'll be okay. We'll pop the armour on again and I'll grab a bit of chalk. And I think that will sort it right out. Wait, how can I move this so that everybody can be involved? That's as zoomed out as we can make it. Okay. Ooh, oh. Foam overboard. There we go. Ah, there we go. Perfect. Forgot to mention that I went to my first drag Storytime local event. Oh, nice! Very fun. Oh, I'm so glad you had a good time. How was it? What was the story? Was it a good time all round? Yeah, drag Storytimes are really worryingly politicized recently, and it's like, what is going on? It's just people dressing fabulously and telling a story. Like, it ain't that deep. 4 short children's stories. Oh, so cute. Love it. Oh, this is going like way smoother than the other one. I don't know what we're doing different, but yeah, like smashing it. I'm not a good baker by any means. I just have a couple of recipes I like. That's all you need. It was funny. There was a kid that was a heckler. I hope it was like good, funny, silly heckling, not like serious, like bad heckling. I hope it was good timed, good silly heckling. Yeah, unfortunately, I've seen some worrying stories online of like folks turning up to drag story times that really shouldn't be. It's like, yo, what's going on? Madness. Yeah, I think my signature bake. If I was going to do a signature bake, I did used to make. Not serious to say like they didn't want to hear one of the books at first. Okay, that's like typical kids being kids kind of nonsense. That's acceptable. That's heckling that we will allow. We will allow that kind of heckling. I mean, I feel like if you're taking your kid to a drag story time, you've probably brought them up in such a way that they're not going to have a problem with drag. But yeah, that's funny. Kids will say just like random, just whatever, won't they? They're just like, what are they even doing? Oh dear. Yeah, but no, speaking of signature bakes, I think mine is, I used to make a really, really good, I've not made it in years, but I used to make a really good, like banana and chocolate chip bread. So it was less of a banana bread and it was just straight up cake, like banana and chocolate cake, but oh my gosh, it was like melt in the mouth. It was so good. So proud of it. There was a 1-year-old who kept trying to crawl over to the drag queen sequin dress. I mean, wouldn't we all though? Like, was he a sparkly thing? I'm like, I'm there. Gone. I think that's very, very relatable. We are all at heart. We are that 1-year-old that's just like, yes, sparkly, shiny things. Oh, that's cute. Like, it's just wholesome. Like, I love that. Like, drag story time. Like, I wish that was something that was like a thing when I was a kid. I think I would have gotten so much out of it, being like, how can I become such fabulous people? Rather than like finding out about it in like finding out about drag in my 20s through like Drag Race. I mean, like, wow, this is incredible. Like, yeah. Although to be fair, I think growing up we were still very much in the UK. I think until like 2000 and I think it was either 2005 or 2008. We still had the thing of like schools and teachers and things like just could not talk about like LGBTQ plus issues. Like, they're just not allowed. It was just like, just didn't exist. And it's like, what? What? Went to my first drag show in my 30s. It's nice that these things are like so much more, I guess, like accepted, accessible these days. Makes such a huge difference. Like, yeah, would have absolutely thrived to see that kind of thing as a kid. Yeah, hopefully. I mean, well, to be fair, there's some not great things happening in the States. Hopefully, those not great things can be kind of overturned. And I think because of the internet, there's a certain element of like, you just can't silence things in the same way that you kind of could before. So yeah, that's my 2 cents. But yeah, I think it was the first drag show. I think would have been in my 20s actually. Yeah, a friend and I we went to a gay bar, and there was a drag show there, and they also had like Drag Race on in the background as well. So there's like during where basically they had adverts. That was when the kind of the queens would kind of come out, do like a song and a bit, and then the show would go back on, and everyone would kind of like watch a bit more of the show, and I think actually one of the queens that we saw ended up being on the show, and it was like, yeah, we saw them before they went on Drag Race. So yeah, it was like, I can't remember who it was though, which is awful, because we were like, yeah, we know you, and now I can't remember who it is. There's been so many queens on that show. Oh my goodness. It's kind of incredible. Like, literally hundreds. Right, there we go. Sorry, I appreciate that everything is very off-screen at the moment. It's just very hard to maneuver around this very large armour. This isn't even a large armour. Oh my goodness. The size of some of the armours at Warhammer Fest because they've all like loads of people with like massive power suits and things, and it's like ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. The size of these power suits, my goodness. Like, barely able to move kind of armour. Wild. There we go. I reckon if I do a little knot around there, whoop, I reckon that'll be nice and secure. And then I think we pop it back over our head and grab a piece of chalk and see if we can mark it on the dress, and then we'll do everything on the dress as well. And then I think, depending on how we're doing on time, 2:30. Okay, that's not too bad. Yeah, I reckon by the time we've sewn the corresponding clips onto the dress, I reckon that'll be about right to finish. And there we are. Right, let's pop this back on. And we need something else to mark. Oh, I could use a pin actually. Yeah, pins, that'll do. As long as I don't stab myself, should be fine. About there. And I think we'll make sure everything kind of lines up symmetrically on the other side as well. And then we should be good to go. Right, that feels about right. Right, we'll pop this off. Oh, sorry. And we'll take you back to the fish while I faff with the dress. Just because there's a level of faffery, there's a good chance. The main reason actually I want to do this off screen is just in case my shirt rides up, because Twitch does have a very sensible policy of is it sensible? Probably. Of just no nips of any kind, but I'm slightly conscious of the fact that while taking this dress up and over my head, that my shirt might ride up as well, and nobody wants to see that, and I certainly don't want to break TOS doing it. So yeah, that's why we do the fish screen while getting changed. Yeah, I think Twitch very sensibly, most sensibly, doesn't differentiate between female presenting and other nips. It's just like, no nips. No nips of any kind. Unacceptable. Right. How do I want to get this? I think, yeah, we'll go up and over. Oh. Right. And we're back. Hello again. Slightly ruffled hair. That's okay. I'm going to put my cardigan back on so I don't get cold. Although it is rather glorious sunshine at the moment. So I think maybe post-stream I'll grab a snack. I might actually spend a little time in the garden. What a luxury. Oh, there we go. Right. Just a purple void. Also, Penalty, I feel like you must have seen this fabric before, but I feel like you would very much appreciate this fabric with its like purple but like duotone gorgeousness. I feel like it's one that you would certainly appreciate. Right, we're going to pop this. Oh my goodness. I like the texture. Yeah, the texture is gorgeous as well. And it's also really nice to work with. Like, it's non-stretch, so there's no kind of like faffery on that front, which is very pleasing. I'm just going to pop the corresponding bits on these just so they can't get lost. Oh, there we go. I mean, it's purple, so of course they love it. It's the correct answer. It is gorgeous colour. But yeah, the texture is really nice as well. Just like the little lines just add, I don't know, they don't, like they're subtle, but they just add just enough texture that it's like, oh, that's really pretty, that's really interesting. Yeah, 10 out of 10, would recommend. Although, so I ordered some more because the inside of the fabric is really nice as well, and I wanted to use it as the lining for my cloak, but for some reason, our post